Good morning, how are you? Welcome back to the Strong with Julie podcast, or my YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, you see my lovely guard dog over here. He's a guard dog and an assistant coach, so if you're my clients, you know, Gus sometimes pops in on our calls, but he just makes sure that there's no one's snooping around here, right Gus? Yeah, that's what he does, and in the next 20 minutes, he might let us know if any living thing is snooping around here. Anyways, today's podcast is going to be about things that I wish I knew when I first started my fitness journey, knowing what I know now, right? So that was approximately a decade ago, which is like wild. In high school was definitely when my fitness journey started. I mean, when I started becoming body conscious, I was probably like 10 years old, but that's definitely when I started going to the gym and kind of experimenting with exercise. So along this decade, I've acclimated a bunch of different, acclimated is not the word. That's not the word. I've accumulated. Now, I also have bad English the last few days because, if you guys don't know, my mom is from Brazil and I visited Connecticut a few weeks, or was that last week? I think it was last week. And we speak Portuguese a bit when we go home. And when I speak Portuguese, sometimes I forget English or sometimes I combine them. Então fica muito confusão quando eu tô falando inglês e português. That's a little tidbit of Portuguese if anyone speaks Portuguese around here. Anyways, the way that we're gonna break up this podcast is into little sections so it makes sense in my slightly ADD mind, because you guys know I can bounce all over the place. So that is what we're gonna talk about today, and I cannot wait to share these tips with you guys. First, we're gonna do our quick announcement segment. So the only announcement that I have is that my next challenge, the Busybody Blueprint, is launching on June 9th. Well, I'm posting it this Sunday, but it starts June 9th, and this is the shortest challenge I've ever done in my whole entire life, and it's only 8 weeks long. Like you guys know, my Fresh Start challenge was 4 months, and usually my challenges are about a quarter long, but my idea with this one is get your like feet wet. But for anyone that hasn't committed to one of my challenges before, if they're a little nervous for like a 4 or 6 month or a year commitment, 8 weeks is like just getting your feet wet. You know, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna see progress, you're gonna have an organized protocol that a professional is gonna set for you, and you're gonna feel less decision fatigue when you're going about your life and trying to figure out what workouts you should do. And when you're scrolling on Instagram, you're gonna have this, aka me, this person that you can send these questions to, and hopefully I can provide you with answers that you trust and that you can like even double check yourself, that like, you know, when I post things, I hope you guys don't take them as fact. When you guys see things on Instagram, I hope you don't always take them as fact. Do your own research. Use yourself as a test tool too for different things. Anyways, see how my ADD brain went there? So the challenge starts June 9th, and I'm super excited about it. It's 8 weeks long, and so that's 2 months. It is Busybody Blueprint, 35-minute or less workouts. Cardio will be added dependent on the client, just because depending on your goal, the cardio protocol is going to be different. And then meals, macros, all that stuff's going to be personalized as well. So I'm super excited about it, and we definitely are going to have a group chat with weekly engagement segments and messages from me, and everyone will also get a call with me during their duration of the program to answer any questions and onboard you and kind of review your protocol and any changes that need to be made. So that is the only announcement that I have. Tomorrow, oh, you guys are probably like, Julie, the house, did you guys get the house? So we were supposed to close last Thursday. Our loan officer, I don't want to speak badly about anyone, but didn't have the paperwork complete. Therefore, our closing date changed to this Friday, which is actually fine because we had a closing date and then we weren't going to move in until May 31st, June 1st anyways. So we had this like 2-week grace period. So it kind of worked out to where like, it didn't really matter, but we just got a little nervous when she didn't have the documents ready, because like, what the heck. But yeah, that is the house updates, and I'm really excited about that too. Of course, I'll take you guys through the journey with that. I also ordered a different camera because this one gets out of focus sometimes, and it comes this weekend, I think. said it's getting shipped tomorrow from Best Buy, but it should come this weekend or early next week. And that camera is more of like a handheld vlogging camera. So I think it'll be good for like when I move, I can show you guys the house and like how to decorate, because I have so many talented interior designers that I'm friends with on Instagram that you guys already have helped me with all those whites colors. The question that I asked, like what white should I paint the house? So many of you answered that and helped me, because I went to Home Depot and was looking at all the paint swatches and was amazed at how many different dang whites there are. So Benjamin Moore, was it Simply White? Something like that was one that a bunch of people recommended. And then what's the other one? It's like a weird name, I forget. If I remember, I'll tell you guys on Instagram what I decide, but those are the only announcements that I have for the day. So let's get into the tips. As always, everything will be sectioned out by timed in the caption. Therefore, if you guys don't want to hear me talk, you already probably listened to me talk, you can skip forward. Number one is going to be your environment. It is so important who you surround yourself with when you are on this journey, and you truly are a combination of the people that you hang out with. If you have a bunch of friends that are constantly want to go out on the weekends, if you have a bunch of friends that are making fun of your journey out on the weekend, go drinking, and they aren't really into the hobbies that you're into anymore, or the lifestyle changes that you want to do, that's gonna be a problem in the long run, and you're gonna have to have either some tough conversations or don't do this. But I'm not gonna lie, in the past I definitely didn't do it the best way. I like just slowly stopped talking to those friends, and thinking about it now, like that is not a good thing to do, and that wasn't me being a good friend. And honestly, most of those friends I've reached back out to like years later and said sorry for doing that, because when your lifestyle changes, the people that you talk to day to day change, your priorities change, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. But yeah, not everyone is going to support your journey, and that's totally okay. Some people might say like you're getting too muscular, or why are you always going to the gym, or they're just gonna have snarky comments, and you have to like put this bulletproof layer over yourself where you just let them say what they want to say. You know, like there's no need for retaliation. You know, I feel like that's something that I did wrong too. I retaliated a lot, and I like would be like really defensive when people said those types of things, or it would just like I would take it to heart or be embarrassed, especially if I went like out to eat with friends, like, oh, you're gonna eat that hamburger? I thought you were on your fitness journey. Like I'll just like laugh and let it go now, but whereas back then I'd be like butthurt about it. So you're just, again, gonna have to get this layer, this bulletproof layer. You're gonna have to fake it till you make it in the beginning, and then pretty soon that's just gonna become like how you are. And the best part is the longer that you do this fitness journey thing, the more confidence that you're gonna have in these situations, because all you care about is how good this is making you feel, how much it's filling your cup, and when your cup gets filled, you can fill other people's cups, which is super, super important. But yeah, you don't need everyone to understand your goals, just make sure that you understand your goals. Next section is health versus fitness, and I feel like this is super important because the first few years of my journey, I was super, I would say like a bodybuilding, bikini competitor focused. Not that I wanted to compete, but those are the people that I followed, like plain chicken, rice, broccoli, like same meals every single day, creatine, pre-workout, like 400 milligrams of caffeine, all these things. And I soon realized that you can have a six-pack and not be healthy. So that's when over the years I've learned more about things like fiber, whole foods, food variety, the importance of balance, because it can be such a mental funk when you're only allowing yourself to have certain types of foods. I would say fitness is more about performance and being lean, whereas inner health involves that mental health, your gut health, and all those things. And you can marry the two and prioritize both, but just make sure you're not like, if you feel like you're leaning one way over the other, you would just take a little bit of a deep dive there and figure out, okay, how can I balance this out a little bit? But remember that food does have healing properties. So when you're deciding between, oh, to hit my macros, I can have this protein bar over maybe like a cup of cottage cheese, berries, and some honey. Like, if you have time, I would pick the whole foods, the berries, the honey, the cottage cheese over the protein bar. Now, if you're in a pinch, it's totally okay, but a majority of the foods that you're eating, you don't want just like 2 scoops of protein for dinner, you know? You want to have a chicken breast. 1 pound of chicken breast is about 100 grams of protein. So you kind of want to have like 1 pound of chicken breast a day, well, however you want to split that up, right? It could be other sources of lean protein, but I'm just telling you like that plus maybe 1 scoop of protein powder to get you to 130 is totally fine if that's your goal, but you don't want a protein bar, a protein chips, a protein powder, a collagen powder, that to be your main source of protein throughout the day, because that would be in more fitness category versus overall health. Okay, next is the myth of motivation. I don't know who is like banging upstairs, but I just keep getting nervous because I think it's someone knocking on the door. No one knocks on our door, right, Gus? Never. No one ever knocks on our door. But motivation is like that flaky friend. Motivation is me to my friends when I was first starting my fitness journey. I was flaky AF. I would say yes to things and then I would be like, wait, you know what? I didn't get my workout in, like I can't go. Don't be like me in the beginning of my fitness journey, okay? Don't be that flaky friend. If you commit to something, go do it. But also, if you commit to doing something for you, go do that. So when you say you're gonna go to the gym, you go to the gym. You have a plan. You don't need motivation for it. You need discipline, and you need to learn how to put yourself on autopilot to pause your feelings, because your feelings are always gonna talk you out of that workout. Your mind is so smart, and when you have an inkling of not wanting to do something or wanting to do something, it's really dang good at talking you into it. So you have to learn how to kind of shut that part of your brain up and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I have a plan and I'm gonna follow the plan. So make that other voice louder, make discipline louder in your head, make habits louder, and it's just gonna help you throughout your journey, because I get spurts of motivation. Like if I see a girl on Instagram and she looks like shredded, I'm like, whoa, that motivated me to go to the gym today. That's okay, but that's not always gonna be there, you know? Like one day I might be scrolling through Instagram and I see something like that and I get demotivated. I'm like, oh, I'm doing all these things and it's not working, like, F it, throw in the towel. So you can't trust and rely on motivation. You have to rely on discipline, and then in the beginning, you have to rely on that autopilot and silencing your feelings. That's so important. And you can feel your feelings when you're in the gym, okay? Next is, if it were easy, anyone would do it. Everyone would do it. All those friends that are talking you out of it or making funny remarks or making fun of you, they would do it too if it were easy. Another thing is, when you first start your fitness journey, you're more susceptible to progress, which is motivating in itself. But the further you are along your fitness journey, like where I'm at right now, years in, it takes so much more work to see progress, newbie gains. So you can utilize that in the beginning to motivate you, but you need to have that stem of deeper discipline to keep you going, because your progress is going to stall. Like, it's not if it stalls, it is going to stall, because there's a thing called life, and life happens, and you're gonna have lots of stop starts throughout your fitness journey, because your fitness journey is gonna be for the rest of your life, and that's just the way that it's gonna go. And hard will always look different. What's hard for you when you first start your fitness journey, like for me, what was hard for me was just get into the gym. Now what's hard for me is thinking about doing hip thrusts makes me want to throw up. Like, there's always gonna be a hard, but your discipline's gonna get you through that hard, okay? Number 4, what actually works, okay? This is gonna be like a quick 4-minute section, and I feel like it's important to go over the protocols that actually work and not just like feelings and things like that. But I definitely used to think the only way I would be in shape is if I like ran 10 miles. I actually did track and cross country, fun fact, in middle school and high school. I wasn't good. I literally did it because I thought it would make me skinny, and I did hurdles. And another fun fact, I actually quit doing hurdles because during a meet, my foot got stuck on the hurdle, I fell into the girl's lane, the other girl fell, it was like a domino effect. It was so embarrassing. I was like, I quit right after that. Actually, most sports I ended up quitting because of some sort of clumsy accident that I had. Soccer, for example, I was the goalie. They put me in goalie, ball straight to the face, quit that game. I was like, nope, this is not working for me. Anyways, what actually works instead of running? Strength training as your foundation, at least 3 days a week. Lift some heavy weights, for your longevity, for your mobility, for your flexibility, because you can, you know, put mobility and stretching in between your strength training, and for your muscles. Your muscles is a protection layer. Remember how I said that bulletproof layer? You can visualize that, but your muscles are gonna become that bulletproof layer in your body, especially as you age. So that's so important. And then the other days, find something fun that you like. Pilates, bar, fencing, pickleball, running, hurdles, whatever it is. Find things that you enjoy doing to throw in there. You don't have to follow a 6-day training split. I really think that fitness is not a one-size-fits-all situation. You need to find what you enjoy doing, and also the same way discipline's gonna come and go, what you like is gonna come and go too. So you're gonna have like a little bit of a rut eventually in your journey where you're like, I don't really like lifting weights anymore. I don't really like tennis anymore, and you're gonna have to switch things up. Now, lifting weights, you can switch up the program, but you don't wanna stop doing it altogether, right? And then the next thing is know that you're gonna mess up. You're gonna miss workouts. It's inevitable. We all miss workouts. Last week I went to visit Connecticut. I got 3 workouts in instead of my 5-day split. And you know what I did? I just am doing my new week, doing my 5 workouts, not redoing workouts, not doubling up on any days. I'm moving on with my life. It happened. I had fun with my family. I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I know that the stress of me being like harping on the fact that I didn't get all of those workouts in would be worse for me than just like moving on. So that's a big thing too. Someone might be watching you at the gym or judging you. I feel like this is something that a lot of people like don't really talk about in the beginning of their fitness journey, just like the social anxiety. If they're watching you, one, if it's creepy, go tell the front desk, like you're an adult. And if you're nervous and someone's being creepy and like looking at you, go tell the front desk. I had an incident like this in Fort Myers, and Brett like approached the guy, and it was like, I need to tell you guys this story. I don't know if I ever told you this. There was this creep following me around in Fort Myers. Like anywhere that I went, he went. Like if I used the cable app pull down, he was in the cable row right next to me. If I went to the green, he would go to the green, and he was just like straight up staring at me. He was an older guy. And I told Brett, I was like, Brett, I'm nervous. And it happened like a few times, and then finally Brett came to the gym with me and was like, let's see what the heck's going on here. And as much as I'm saying you're an adult, go tell somebody, like I was scared. I was like, I don't want to tell anybody, like I'm nervous. So Brett like went up to the guy and like started yelling at him. He was like, if I catch you looking at my girl one more time. And I was like, dang. And then all these women were like, yeah, tell him, he's always looking at me. And he got kicked out of the gym. And it was actually wild. Like I was so proud of Brett. I was like, thank you. And anyways, people are gonna look at you. I feel like people lie on the internet. I've definitely said it before, like, oh, no one's looking at you, no one's looking at you. There's gonna be some weirdos that are looking at you, and you need to like use your voice and go tell the front desk and be like, this guy's looking at me and I'm scared. If it's like you've kind of being like dramatic maybe, or if you like feel like everyone's looking at you but they're not actually looking at you, a hat. Wear a hat. It'll tunnel vision you. It'll like kind of shade, a baseball cap like shade you from all of that, at least in the beginning. And it made me feel a lot more comfortable. And then make sure you charge your headphones, because I get a lot of social anxiety when I don't have my headphones in. So baseball hat, headphones, creepy people, go into the front desk, okay? Next tip is stop drinking your calories. I was like a Starbucks fiend in the beginning of my fitness journey. Like vanilla frappuccino in high school, I used to love those things. So stop drinking your calories. It's just gonna make it 10 times harder, especially if you wanna lose fat, to stick to your deficit. Your mind and you chewing have a direct relationship with your hunger and fullness hormones. Remember ghrelin, GER, hungry, and leptin? So when you chew, you get more leptin, fullness hormone. So chewing is super important. And when you're drinking all of your calories, whether it's like a green juice, a frappuccino, a soda, I don't care what it is, that is affecting the amount of calories that you have for the day to actually chew, therefore affecting your fullness for the day. So if I were you, I'd stick to 0 calorie drinks. Water is gonna be your best friend. Drink lots of water. Next is walking after meals, 10 to 15 minutes. The reason that I like this is because it's a habit stack. You help your digestion after your meals. When you get moving, things can start moving. And number 2, it helps you get your steps throughout the day. So let's say you eat like 3 meals throughout the day, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you walk for 10 minutes after each meal, that's about 3,000 steps that you already accumulated right there. About 1,000 steps in 10 minutes. So yeah, killing like 2 birds with 1 stone right there. If you need something sweet after dinner, sometimes it's just that you're not even like craving something sweet, you're craving a palate change. And for a palate change, one thing you could do is, you guys know those like skinny ice pops? They're like 40 calories and they take like a long time to suck down or whatever. Those are out now because it's summer again. Those are great for after dinner palate change. You could also chew some gum. I would either chew some gum, have a popsicle, and go for a walk, get moving, change your environment. Don't stay in the kitchen or like stay at the table, you know, unless you're like eating with people, of course. But yeah, change your palate, gum, popsicle, walk, go clean a room, just get out of the kitchen, okay? You're done eating, get out of the kitchen. Or clean the kitchen and then get out of the kitchen. Next, fueling your body. So nutrition is so important, like we just talked about, when it comes to actually seeing progress. And I feel like in the beginning I focused so much on the gym, but I didn't really change my diet until like at least a year in probably. And then I started, well, I didn't change my diet of doing the military diet. You guys have heard this before, but all throughout high school I like was on and off the military diet. That was like the diet where you literally eat like a plain hot dog, a piece of toast with like 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. I think you can eat an apple. One day you get half a banana, and then I'm pretty sure you have like bacon on it too. It's a really weird diet, but I did that on and off for a really long time. But yeah, when I actually started learning about macros, understanding macros, and understanding that I can actually have like over 2,000 calories and see progress, that was a huge game changer for me, because it also helped me resolve my binge eating issue. So one tiny thing that you can do in the beginning of your fitness journey is start your day, literally like get up, make your bed, get dressed, and start your day with 25 to 35 grams of protein. I don't care how you get it, I don't care what you eat, but start your day with 25 to 35 grams of protein, and that's gonna give you a head start for the day, for your satiety hormones like leptin. That's gonna be more regulated throughout the day, less blood sugar spikes. Some ideas of meals you can have: an omelet, eggs, egg whites, like low-fat mozzarella cheese, pepper, spinach, maybe a piece of toast on the side. If you're not that hungry in the morning, you can have protein coffee. You can have cottage cheese with berries, some chia seeds chia seeds, berries, and honey. Chia seeds and berries are good fiber to start off with your morning. I love having oatmeal in the morning. I like warm oatmeal, but if you prefer cold oatmeal, you can do overnight oats. So those are all ideas. Turkey bacon, Amy Lou chicken sausage links, you can heat up 4 in the microwave, put them like in a little baggie and take them to work with you, and pop those little sausages in your mouth as you are driving to work, okay? No excuses. Next, don't wait until you are starving to plan what you're gonna eat. When we are starving, we have like those glasses on that are like a fun house and make like everything different colors and like twirly, you know? When we are starving, we make the worst decisions and anything goes, because that voice in your mind that we talked about earlier that is negotiating with you to do not the thing that's as planned is really loud when we are starving. So what I would do is the night before or the morning of, roughly plan what you're gonna eat throughout the day. Okay, so you know your schedule. You know your schedule for the day. I know things pop up, but ideally, you know your schedule for the day. Like, okay, you're gonna drop the kids off at school, then you're gonna come home, then you're gonna work out, then you're gonna start work, and then you're gonna have your lunch break, go for a walk. Oh, you gotta bring the dog to the groomers, and then you're gonna come home, make dinner for everyone, shower everyone, and then go to bed. Okay, you roughly know your schedule. I know you do. So the night before, the morning of, you're gonna roughly plan your meals around that and be realistic with it. You're not making a fancy bolognese at 11 a.m., okay? You're maybe having like a girl dinner, girl lunch. Plan out what that's gonna be. Maybe even put it into your tracking app. Now that you have a plan, when you're super hungry, you don't even have to think. Just pull up your plan, whether you write it down on a piece of paper or in your tracking app like Cronometer or MyFitnessPal, it's in there. So that is super, super, super important. Also, if you are using a tracking app, something that I did that was a mistake is I had my Apple Health linked to MyFitnessPal, and it was adding in calories after I went for walks or after I worked out. So if I was set to eat 1,700 calories for the day, the tracking app would add, let's say 400, if that's how many calories my watch said I burned that day. So instead of 1,700 calories, I was eating 2,100 calories, and that's my maintenance. So if 17 was supposed to be my deficit and I'm eating 2,100, I'm not gonna lose weight. Make sense? So just make sure that is off on your app. Number 6 is supplements, like self-care and like some more mindset tips. So for supplements, the biggest thing that I want you to know and to be bulletproof throughout your body and when you're scrolling through social media is that supplement companies have a lot of money, okay? This is coming from someone that literally works with a supplement company. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of money for marketing, and they have a lot of money to make their little things look very pretty, okay? And to make those ads and to make it, to pay influencers to drink their green juice every single morning and say that it stop their bloating. They have a lot of money, okay? So you need to have your critical glasses on when you're scrolling through Instagram and debating taking a supplement. The best thing that you can do is go get a blood test, figure out what your actual deficiencies are. I literally did this 2 weeks ago, and I'm so happy that I did it because I tell everyone to do it, and I like put it off for like 2 years because I was like, oh no, I know. No, you don't know, because I got my results back and I didn't know, okay? Vitamin D I'm taking, iron, I'm taking folate, B12, and a vitamin C. Those are the things that were a little low for me. And this is coming from someone that like, I'm trying to eat healthy every single day, but it gave me data. It gave me something to work off of, and now I'm trying to include those not only supplements, but those types of foods too. Foods with all those nutrients in them, having more eggs, red meat, things like that. So yeah, that's what I do first, is get a blood test. Now, like a supplement I think any and everyone can really benefit from is obviously creatine. So creatine monohydrate, about 3 to 5 grams per day. Make sure you're drinking enough water when you're taking creatine, 3 to 4 liters. But if you're at a point in your fitness journey where you feel like very confident with your progress so far and you want to just take it up a notch, creatine is a great supplement for your brain health, for your gut health, and to build lean muscle. L-glutamine is another one that's super researched and science-backed that helps with your immune system, that helps with your gut health, and it also helps with the recovery. All of my supplements are from Bowmar typically. They do run out of stock a lot, which is really annoying. I also have a Clean Simple Eats code, Julie10. And my Bowmar one is just a Julie for 10% off. But if you have any questions about supplements, you can always DM me. But those are the two that I think anyone could really benefit from. And then obviously a protein powder, just to help you, cap off that protein amount. Like we talked about the 100 grams with 1 pound of chicken breast. To get you to 130 grams, you can have a scoop of protein powder, for example. But yeah, those are the ones like through the fitness industry I'd recommend. Now vitamins, again, get the test done first. Yeah, and also magnesium glycinate was something that I needed to take too after my test. Don't stress about like fancy fat burners or things like that. Honestly, even like a year and a half ago, I got like, I just don't want you guys to feel bad if you like fall for something. I'm doing air quotes if you're on YouTube. If you like fall for anything on social media, like the Lemmy gummies, I was like curious about that because their advertising is so good. So I bought the Lemmy D-Bloat and it was good. Like I just wouldn't buy it again because it was like 50 bucks. Like I'd rather just make sure I get my fiber and I'm trying to save money to furnish my house over here. I don't need a $40 like DeBloat pill when I can just make sure the food that I'm eating and the way that I'm eating it, chewing it, walking after meals is benefiting me and helping me not be bloated. What's another one that I fell for in the past? OxyShred. That was probably a few years ago. I think I still have the container. OxyShred is a pre-workout, but it's also, they say it's an L-carnitine, which is a fat burner. But fun fact, fat burners don't work if you're not in a calorie deficit. So like, what the heck? Yeah, but that's not sexy. They wouldn't put that in their advertisement. They wouldn't say, oh, by the way, this only works if you're in a calorie deficit, because no one wants to hear that. People want to hear like easy ways that they can see progress. But yeah, and then the other thing, like something about self-care I wanted to talk about is I started to change my perspective of what self-care was. Like at first it was always, oh, a face mask, a bubble bath, like reading my book, and it still definitely is that, but I would group in my workouts, my walks, listening to educational podcasts, making sure that the content that I consume is making me a better person. Like all of that I would kind of categorize as self-care because I'm looking out for myself. I'm making sure that I am consuming the correct type of content. I'm making sure that I am taking care of my body and fueling myself the right way. So those are all things that I would say are self-care. And I would say tracking my macros is also self-care because that's what's gonna make sure that I see progress from all the work that I'm putting into the gym. You know, if you don't eat enough protein, if you don't eat enough calories, you're not gonna see those booty gains that you wanna see, right? So that is self-care right there. So I would definitely say just open up your vision of what self-care is, and it's gonna be like one of my podcasts that I did recently, I talked about instead of being disciplined or dedicated, to be devoted to your fitness journey. And I feel like that is something that's really important. Be devoted to your journey, devoted to that self-care. And it's not just bubble baths. But yeah, that was everything that I wanted to go over today. It was kind of like a little all over the place. I know we had our sections, but I hope you guys learned something from it. And Gus decided to stay on my lap the whole time. Want to say bye to your aunties? Say bye-bye. Guys, I look at Gus and I'm like, you kind of look older. And it's making me cry. Like at night I'll cry about it sometimes. Like I'll look at Brett and I'll be like, he looks older. He has little white hairs on his chin now. Anyways, I love you guys. I look forward to talking to you guys next week, and let me know if you have any content suggestions, because I always want to answer your specific questions and make sure that I'm hitting on those when I'm making these videos. Bye.